Well, greetings all. I'm Jonathan Kruk, your storyteller, here with another tale from Advent of Christmas Tales, a series of 24 tales like an Advent calendar, opening up to provide a story to help provide a little light on our way to Christmas this year. Opening up the book, I'll continue with the tale I began yesterday, the story of the origin of Santa Claus. When the children in New Amsterdam, back in the reign of old Pegleg Peter Stuyvesant, put out their wooden shoes on the evening of December the 5th, they did so with hope. The hope had been sparked by smoke coming out of a wooden pipe held in the wooden teeth of a wooden figure that had formerly been on the masthead of a sailing ship. It was Sinterklaas. And there he stood at the bottom of Broadway, giving visions to the like of Olaf van Cortlandt, who saw back then in the 1640s the way New York City is today. Well, the kids saw this as a way to get Sinterklaas across the ocean, even on his white horse. After all, it was Sinterklaas who guided that ship across the ocean. It was Sinterklaas who protected those who traveled on the seas. And now the kids wanted to see what would appear in their shoes, set with care on the stoop, right next to the double Dutch door. Oh! And there, what appeared to their wondering eyes but the shoes, bursting, spilling with treats, with toys. Proof Sinterklaas was here in the New World. Well, they clutched those shoes like precious gifts, which indeed they were, and looked through them, scouring and exclaiming, "Oh, look, I have apples and nuts. I have jacks. I have a Jacob's ladder. I've got a little dolly made of wood with a dress of linen as well." And they all agreed it had to be from Sinterklaas, because there, at the very bottom of the shoe, they found little oranges, representing the gold that Sinterklaas had given to 3 princesses. But that's a tale for another night. The children that morning clutched those gifts and ran down the broad way and over to Water and over to Pearl Street, past the fortress, crying out, "Sinterklaas! Sinterklaas! Sinterklaas came! Sinterklaas came!" Well, this caused quite a stir. People said, What are you yelling about? Sinterklaas came. It's December the 6th. He came. He brought us gifts. He's here in the New World. Probably on his white horse. Probably just going off now to Breukelen." And some of the adults smiled, and others looked at one another and wondered, could the kids and their wishes have made Sinterklaas come here? After all, they had wished for Sinterklaas's protection when they had sailed across the ocean with that figurehead, guiding the way, calming the sea, sending off the sea monsters. Maybe Sinterklaas, the good spirit, had materialized here in the New World. Understand, New Amsterdam, back in the 1640s, though inhabited just by, several hundred people, among those people, why, reports came in from those who wrote about these matters, declaring, in the city of New Amsterdam, one may hear over a dozen different languages: English, German, Danish, Dutch, French, many native and African tongues as well, all spoken on those streets. Well, now the words on everyone's lips were rather Dutch. Sint Nicolaas, Sinterklaas. Some of the English and the German and the other children wondered, what are they talking about? What are they raving about? Well, some of the children of English settlers confronted the Dutch kids clutching their shoes with toys and treats. "What are you raving about? Sinterklaas, Sinterklaas! Brought these. Well, when the year brought itself around, and it was once again December the 5th, some of those other children began to beg their parents, "May we have a visit from the one who gave the gifts to the Dutch children?" "And who would that be?" Sinterklaas? "Oh, we don't go in for that celebration. It's something pertaining to Christmas. It's Papist," which means, well, for many of the Protestants at the time, a bit of nonsense to celebrate the birth of Jesus with songs, drink, feasting, dancing, excessive raucous merriment. No, we don't go in for that kind of a thing, children. After all, we don't celebrate Christmas. We're English." But the children persisted, and with hope they begged, oh please, mayest ye come?" Well, I don't know whether the parents had said yes or whether the children came forth, but I do know this as your storyteller. They set out their shoes as dutifully as did the Dutch kids. And when morning came, so too had other children discovered. Sinterklaas was paying visits, giving gifts to children. On the Isle of Manhattan, reports too that Sinterklaas, with his white horse and gifts, had visited Breukelen and gone off across Hudson's River, or as the Dutch called it, the North River, to New Jersey and beyond, maybe even as far north as Beverwyck, now called Albany. And now a custom began. On December the 5th at night, children in the Dutch colony of the New Netherlands, up and down the river Henry Hudson explored, began to set out their shoes. And the good saint came along until a new nation came along, and that required a complete makeover of the dour old bishop on a white horse to get him to be what we would now recognize as our Santa Claus. But that'll be a story for December 3rd. I'm Jonathan Kruk, and this has been an Advent of Christmas tale. Thanks for listening.